Hello everybody. First off, I'd like to say thank you for the support in the last video. It really means a lot. Thank you guys. And this week's gonna be a little bit different. I'm not gonna give you one build. Technically, I'm gonna give you 5. Now I don't like making things longer than they need to be, so let's get into it. We're gonna be looking at the Radiant Dance Machines, which got nerfed pretty much as soon as they launched, but they got rolled back at the beginning of the season with a bit of a caveat. The exotic perk, the Dance, states activating your dodge ability when near targets allows you to dodge additional times for a short period, and defeating targets extends the duration of the additional dodge. Now here you can see you get 5 seconds when you first activate the ability, and after getting a kill, that is extended to 10 seconds. Now I've seen a few builds out there floating around, but they all seem to really focus on just one subclass, and that got me thinking, what subclass actually works best with, the dance machines? There's a lot of exotics that really need to be paired with certain subclasses in order for them to really shine, but the dance machines aren't bound to any one subclass. So since they rolled back the nerf, and we have all 3.0 subclasses, I wanted to see which subclass it really works best with. And let me tell you, I was surprised. All testing was done on the Hydroponics Delta on Neomuna. First up is Solar. The Solar subclass is a bit of an oddball because it's not that it doesn't have synergy with the dance machines, it's just there's so much built into the subclass already that it kind of makes the dance machines almost redundant or irrelevant. Now the combination is good, but it's not the best because of a few things. First being Knock 'em Down, which gives you your throwing knife back while getting a kill with Radiant. And that is not at all hard to do when you have Ember of Torches. And let's face it, at this point, that's kind of a staple in pretty much every 3.0 build. There is potentially something to be done with Acrobatic Dodge. That is technically an easier way to keep Radiant up in like higher end content. But if you're really getting into really high end content like Grandmasters or even Master Raids and stuff like that, I think there's a lot better exotics you could be utilizing to help you and your team out in those kinds of situations. But for all those ad clearing gods out there who just want to use something new, give this a shot. I'm sure you'll have some fun with it. Next up is Strand. Now I've seen a lot of Strand builds with the dance machines, and to summarize them all, it's good. It's really good. The Threaded Spike got a crazy 55% damage buff in PvE, increased travel range, and increased energy when catching the dart after it comes back. And there's one thing I think a lot of people are kind of overlooking when it comes to this combo. The dart comes back. It's best to really only have 2 threaded spikes out at a time. And even then, sometimes that can get really hectic. Now don't get me wrong, I am in no way, shape, or form saying that this completely ruins the build. No, it just slows it down a little bit. And really just makes you keep track of the dart more than anything. Because I found myself in situations where I would want to throw a dart, but I would accidentally wind up catching a dart coming back. Now I think there's something if you go into the controls and switch it to uncharged melee ability, I think. And that in turn makes it easier not to catch the dart or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really messed with it. I don't mess with the controls that much, honestly. There are a few more things to keep in mind. Like if you're using a Snaring Slam, the multi-dodge ability is used up and you have to wait for the ability to go back on cooldown. And the new aspect, Threaded Spectre, will only be used once, so you won't be able to keep dodging around leaving decoys all around the battlefield. Again, Strand and the dance machines work great together. And the increase to damage to the Threaded Spike really shines with them equipped. Even in the background gameplay, where I'm 15 levels under, the spike is just really doing work. Just try and be mindful of where the spike's at, so you're not catching one where you want to actually be throwing one. Next up is Void, and boy did Void surprise me. Since we have a snare bomb instead of a knife or shuriken or anything like that to really do some physical damage to enemies, I really wasn't expecting much from it. But then I threw on Trapper's Ambush, and let me tell you, that changed everything. Trapper's Ambush did get a bit of a buff in the beginning of the season. It's now allowed to slot 2 fragments instead of just 1. The slam spreads weaken and seems to be working with heavy-handed, as you can see here in this clip, and this is huge, guys. This means with Trapper's Ambush and the dance machines equipped, you can stay invis pretty much non-stop and spread weaken to everything in front of you. Not only that, but if you manage to get a kill with Trapper's Ambush, you generate an orb of power for you and your teammates, combined with Reaper, which generates an orb of power on the first kill after dodging. And if you're running Harmonic Siphon and a Void Weapon, you generate another orb of power on your second kill. And if you're able to keep this up, this is just an endless loop of orbs of power just generated for you and your teammates. Like I said, Void really surprised me. I did not expect it to be that much of a powerhouse. If you haven't already, give this a shot. And now we're at Arc. And let me tell you, Arc's another one that really took me by surprise. Initially, I thought it was going to be a lot like Solar. But let me tell you, I was not ready for Tempest Strike. Arc Hunter is built around beating your enemies into the ground and laughing as you roll away and beat its friend into the ground even harder. But as soon as you combine the dance machines with Tempest Strike, it's fun. Just plain, downright, dirty fun. Much like Solar, combination blows and Gambler's Dodge already does a good job of keeping your melee up. But with dance machines equipped, this means you can use Tempest Strike back to back to back. That alone, in my opinion, makes the dance machines worth using on Arc Hunter. A nice little combo that I really liked doing was building up my combination blows and then unleashing it on a tankier enemy, then dodging backwards and sliding right into it so I can hit it with another Tempest Strike, and that usually finishes everything off. And then once they're done, I can just continue to roll around, build up my combination blows for the next tankier enemy, and do it again. I really was expecting Arc and Dance Machines to have the same problem as the Solar subclass, but because of the Tempest Strike, it just elevates it to a whole new level, and this is one that's staying in my builds. Like, until they nerf it, this is one that's staying in my builds. And last but not least, we have Stasis. Now, when they first announced that they're going to be rolling back the nerf on dance machines, Stasis was the first subclass that my mind initially went to, because alongside it, they also announced that they were going to be buffing Withering Blade, which inherently would give you 2 melee abilities. And now after the buff, it has 20% better projectile tracking. Because the melee ability is already capable of hitting multiple targets with one throw, and you take into consideration that it takes 2 shurikens to freeze an enemy, yeah, dance machines on this, it's a pretty big no-brainer. And much like the Tempest Strike and the dance machines, the Withering Blade and the dance machine combo, it's so much damn fun. Just rolling around, throwing the shurikens at everything, watching it freeze, and then coming in close and hitting it with the Shatter Dive. Yeah, stupid good fun. This is another combo that I've seen a video or 2 floating around, and it's easy to see why. It's so much damn fun. It's so damn strong. If I were to rank all the subclasses with the Radiant Dance Machines in order, from best to worst, it goes Stasis, Arc, Void, Strand, and Solar. And throughout the video, I've been mentioning a few mods here and there. But here's everything I was using, and everything I think you should be using in order to get the most out of this exotic. And I know everyone's armor stats are different, so at least keep it in mind when you're speccing out for whatever it is that you're doing. I was incredibly surprised by the results of this, and I'm going to keep the dance machines in my loadouts permanently. But what do you guys think? Did you guys learn something? Or were some of you just so far ahead of me that you're watching this and just thinking, it's about damn time someone figured this out? Well, that's going to be it for me this week. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, it helps out. But above all else, keep a kind heart, a keen mind, and a savage soul. I'll see you guys later. Peace.